Pokemon Sword and Shield, the Pokemon game we've all been waiting for, mostly known for its diverse cast of Rule 34 hentai material. There's so much hentai, like holy shit! Pokemon Sword and Shield is the brand new mainline Pokemon game making its first debut on console. Exciting, right? The Galar region, new Pokemon, a new world to explore. What could possibly go wrong? You'd be surprised. There's already controversy about this game, a lot of controversy, which is exactly what I'm going to be going over in this video, as well as the cause of the controversy. So without further ado, let's spill the tea. The most talked about issue of Pokemon Sword and Shield is the high quality animations or lack thereof. For a 2019 Pokemon game, these animations come off as lazy, and the Pokemon Company goes as far as to say they are trying to make the Pokemon more expressive.
But with the transition to the Nintendo Switch hardware, with its, it being much more powerful, allowing us to be much more expressive with each of the individual Pokemon.
Like what? How is this expressive? You can literally find the same animations in the 3DS lineup of Pokemon games going as far back as Pokemon X and Y. Here is another example of high quality animations thanks to a fellow YouTuber, Distant Kingdom, for finding this clip. They literally took the same animation and used it on a newer model. Pokemon games that are 13 years or older have better animations. I mean, look at Pokemon Battle Revolution. A Wii game. A Wii game has better animations. And I know what you Pokemon Justice Warriors are thinking. But Puftendo, according to my calculations, Pokemon Battle Revolution was to focus only on Pokemon Battle, so of course they'd make the animations of a higher quality.
Duly noted and ignored.
Pokemon Colosseum and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, two Pokemon games made in the GameCube with the full-scale Pokemon world to explore and beefy sailor dudes. This right here is a prime example of how Game Freak is de-evolving. If you peep the fighting animations of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, they look clean as hell. 10 times better than Pokemon Sword and Shield. Here's a comparison.
Depth of the battle system. Yeah, certainly I think fans are going to look...
Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness is practically a full-scale Pokemon experience, and that game came out in 2005. That's 14 years ago. To put that into perspective, computers looked like this. And the first smartphone hasn't even been made yet. Feel old yet? I was only 2 years old in 2005. This just goes to show how Game Freak refuses to put much effort in their franchise anymore. The graphics didn't receive much of an overhaul either, which leads me to my next point. For this being Pokemon's big debut on console, you'd think they'd make the graphics flashy and stunning, just like Super Mario Odyssey or The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Here's a screenshot of a tree in Super Mario Odyssey. Here's a screenshot of a tree in Breath of the Wild. And here is a screenshot of a tree in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Personally, I don't care much for the graphics, but the fans clearly have an issue with Pokemon being one of the most popular franchises, if not the most popular franchise in Nintendo. You'd expect the game to be given the same graphical treatment as Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey, but I'm going to cut Game Freak some slack and admit they do have a small development team, and they are working on another game.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was.
In order to be the very best, you gotta catch them all, right? Well, Game Freak says otherwise. You know the hours upon hours you spent catching every Pokemon from every Pokemon game and trading them to your other game files and uploading them to the Pokemon Bank? Well, I hate to break it to you, brother, but there's no way to upload your Pokemon to Pokemon Sword and Shield because not every single Pokemon is in the Galar region. You can't catch them all, unfortunately, and to me, this is my biggest issue with this game. How are you gonna build a franchise based off the idea of catching them all and not even let the players catch them all? There must be a reason, right? Well, Allow me to read you their reasoning. Thank you to all our fans for caring so deeply about Pokemon. Recently, I shared the news that some Pokemon cannot be transferred to Pokemon Sword and Shield. I read all your comments and appreciate your love and passion for Pokemon. Just like all of you, we are passionate about Pokemon, and each and every one of them is very important to us. After so many years of developing the Pokemon games, this was a very difficult decision for me. I'd like to make one thing clear. Even if a specific Pokemon is not available in Pokemon Sword and Shield, that does not mean it will not appear in future games. The world of Pokemon continues to evolve. The Galar region offers new Pokemon to encounter, trainers to battle, and adventures to embark on. We are pouring our hearts into these games, and we hope you look forward to joining us on this new journey.
Duly noted and ignored.
They basically acknowledged the fact that there is an issue and decided to ignore it and do things their own way. The entire premise of the Pokemon franchise is gotta catch 'em all. Arbitrarily deciding that the player whose goal is to catch them all will be only able to catch certain Pokemon and just hope that in the next game their favorite Pokemon will be added in, but at the cost of one being cut. It's basically the idea of natural selection, but with Pokemon. There's way too much porn. I'm not complaining. As we reach the end of this video, it's time for me to finally spill the tea. The most overlooked fact about all of this controversy is that Game Freak and Nintendo both are businesses with only one main goal in mind.
We just need money.
At the end of the day, they are businesses trying to make money. I'm no expert on economics, so please correct me if I'm wrong. Nintendo has investors, which gives Nintendo money for the games and projects and all that fun stuff. In order to keep investors interested, they hold investor meetings where they basically tell the investors their plans for the year. Let's say at the investor meeting, Nintendo tells them they're going to release Super Smash Bros. Ultimate 2 and a brand new Zelda game. Nintendo would then explain why the investors should be interested in investing because Zelda and Smash Bros. Sell, so the investors give Nintendo X amount of money for X amount of stock in the company. Bam, you got capitalism. We all know Pokemon sells, and Nintendo has a quota, and they predicted to sell over 18 million Nintendo Switch units this year alone. How would they do that, you may ask? Well, by releasing games like Super Mario Maker 2, Luigi's Mansion 3, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, and surprise, surprise, Pokemon Sword and Shield. These games would either have already been released or going to be released this year. The reason why Game Freak is quote-unquote lazy isn't because they're lazy. In fact, they're really hard workers. They are just having to cut corners in order to reach the release date on time so that Nintendo reaches their quota. At the end of the day, Nintendo and Game Freak are both businesses trying to make money. The reason why I love Nintendo as a company, though, is because they separate themselves from all the other gaming companies. They're innovative and they interact with fans while still keeping their goal as a business in check. Imagine if EA was the company developing Pokemon Sword and Shield. They just slap on beautiful graphics and charge you $5 for a goddamn Pokeball. Nintendo and Game Freak are in it for the money, obviously, but at the same time, they respect the fans as fans, not consumers, which is why I respect them back. Nintendo and Game Freak do not take criticism very lightly. I can't promise a national dex, I can't promise beautiful graphics, I can't promise amazing animations, but what I can promise is that they'll continue to improve on those issues in the next iteration of Pokemon. Now for my solution, the Puftendo solution! They need to stop treating Pokemon as a cash grab and give it the Zelda treatment. Hear me out. The last mainline Pokemon game was Ultra Sun and Moon, and that released in November 2017. And Pokemon Sword and Shield will release exactly 2 years later. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword released in 2011, and the next big mainline Zelda game came out in 2017, being Breath of the Wild. That's 6 years. Although there were delays and all that, but in between the two big Zelda titles, there were a bunch of filler like HD remakes and spin-offs and all that fun jazz. I feel like the same thing should happen with Pokemon. Maybe not a 6-year gap in between each game, but a reasonable amount of time between big Pokemon titles to make it a true Pokemon experience, as it should be, and then the fans who want to catch them all can catch them all in the HD remakes. It's a brilliant idea, but that's just me. Who knows? Pokemon Sword and Shield may be the greatest Pokemon game of all time. No matter what, though, we are all, admit it, we are all going to still buy it and play it. What do you guys think about the controversy surrounding Pokemon Sword and Shield? Will you guys buy the game? Why or why not? I'd love to hear what you have to say. If you're new to the Puftendo community and you made it to the end of this video, why not subscribe and join the Groosenators? We have an awesome community that's constantly growing. We share memes, hentai, much more. So if you're interested, I recommend you subscribe. Click that notification bell so YouTube doesn't fucking cuck me anymore. And also, in the link in the description, you can find a link to my Discord server. And, you know, we have an amazing community there. We share hentai, like I said. We share memes and all that good jazz. We have big discussions and tournaments that we have prizes in. So if you're interested in joining the Puftendo community, I recommend you subscribe and join the Groosenators in the Discord server. And why not follow my other social media, which will all be in the link down below. Thank you guys again so much for watching this video. And as always, have yourselves a damn good one.
Gonna be a show to remember.